The next speaker is going to be looking at the role of education and personal development in achieving influence and impact and income. Our next speaker is Bunmi Adetiloye. She is an educator. She is a counselor and a coaching advisor. She has over 5 years experience in school management and organizational development. She is proprietress of Life Modeling School. She's a support coach at Immense Inner Circle, an organization that has coached over 50,000 women in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. She's currently a PhD student of guidance and counseling at Obafemi Awolowo University. Bunmi Adetiloye is happily married to Dayo Adetiloye, and they are blessed with 2 children. So she will be taking us through roles of education and personal development in achieving influence and income. Let's welcome her as we unmute her to engage us this afternoon. After our section, we are going to have another of our mentor called Mene Blessing. Mene Blessing, I don't want you to miss his section. He has won a lot of grants and awards. I call him my fundraising mentor. And that is what we have today. So I will unmute our speaker to start right now. So you can unmute your live.
Good evening, everyone. It's so good to be here. And I really want to appreciate the team behind this. I want to appreciate God too for the privilege to be part of this program. I will be talking about roles of education and personal development in achieving influence, impact, and income. And I really want to appreciate the last speaker that just spoke. It was very profound, very, very insightful, and it was so good. Now, the first thing I will be saying this evening is that you are where you are primarily not because of what you know, but because of what you don't know. It's because of what we don't know, that's why that is why you are still where you are today. Now, when we talk about education and personal development, education is the art or process of imparting or acquiring general knowledge, developing the powers of reasoning and judgment, and generally preparing oneself or others intellectually for mature life. And what we'll be looking at this evening is about acquiring knowledge as an individual. Knowledge actually has a way of moving you from one point to the other. In this decade, you actually need knowledge to make impact. You need knowledge to be influential. You need knowledge to increase your income. And education is one of the things that actually gives you the privilege of being imparted with knowledge. When you're educated, it gives you the leverage to see more opportunities. It gives you a leverage to see so many business ideas. It gives you leverage to see beyond your nose, beyond what others could not see. And again, I'll talk about knowledge. Knowledge is powerful currency that can actually shift you. It can actually shift your thinking. It can shift your mindset, the way you think. So knowledge is the power, is actually power. You know, everybody say knowledge is power, but it is power when only it is being applied. For instance, everything that we've been learning since Friday has been, people have been imparting us with knowledge. Everyone has been coming with information. Now, this information, this knowledge that is being shared is power when it is applied. After this training, what I expect everyone to do is to apply it. If you don't apply it, that means the knowledge is useless. And the funniest thing about knowledge is that you can actually get constipated about knowledge too, the way you get constipated about food. You know, when you eat too much and there's no space again, you get constipated. You are not passing it out. So most times when you don't apply knowledge, you can actually get constipated as an individual as well. So whatever knowledge you are going to gain or you've gained during this program, during this conference rather, it should be applied. You should apply it. You should be able to use it to make impact in your community, in the people around you and all that. So knowledge will always produce answer to how you can influence, how you can impact, and how you can increase your income. Knowledge brings solution to that problem you are thinking of. Maybe there's a problem in your community that you've actually cited, that you felt that, okay, I should be able to solve it. It's knowledge that will give you the solution to that idea. Now, another thing I would like to say this evening is that nothing changes because knowledge is acquired, but something changes when knowledge is applied. Nothing changes because knowledge is acquired. Now you are acquiring knowledge, nothing is changing. Nothing will change. If you are here, you are listening to me, you've heard Dr. Habib. Now, nothing is going to change by hearing me, but something will change when you apply it. When you can apply those ideas to your businesses, when you can apply it to your life, even like, for instance, the person that spoke to us about marriage yesterday, Mrs. Shay Davis, she talked about choosing a life partner. If you can actually apply that to your life as a young person, it will actually help you. So things can actually change for you. So something changed when it is being applied to. Another thing I want to talk about is, what have you been doing with all the knowledge you've been getting? I'm asking you now. You can actually type it in the chat box. All the knowledge that you've been getting since, let's say January 2020, the books you've been reading, what have you been doing with them? What have you been doing with all the knowledge you have been getting all this while? Can I get responses? Have you ever actually applied any form of knowledge you've gotten, maybe from the media, from the internet, from books, from people, from seminars? Have you ever applied anyone this year? No response yet. So we move. Okay, you have. Thank you very much, Izzy Abraham. Can you share with us? Is it possible for you to type in the chat box and tell us one of the knowledge you were able to apply, and the knowledge, and it was able to push you forward? It moved you forward. It changed something about you. Can you share one of those things? And it's like a stepping. Okay, John Francis said it's like a stepping stones to reach the next level. Thank you. So good. Now you need to start applying them so that you can start making impacts. It's only when you apply the knowledge that you receive daily that you can actually make impacts. When you are not applying it, you can't make influence. You can't make impact, and that cannot actually increase your income. If you have influence, you have impact, it can have an effect on your income. Now, let me talk about personal development. Personal development is a process that actually lasts for your entire life. You develop yourself throughout your lifetime till you die. Learning does not stop until you die. You keep learning every day. I'm very sure the man that just finished speaking, even as old as he is, as knowledgeable as he is still learning. He's still acquiring knowledge. He's still attending conferences. And I'm very sure that he still has mentors that he's learning from too. So personal development is a method of assessing your own personal qualities and skills. It improves your self-awareness and identity. Personal development actually allow you to be self-aware about yourself. Okay, I think let me read what is in the chat box. Gospel Akano said copywriting, it's increased my income and sales. Wow, that's so good. Isabram said book title. Okay, you read No Excuse. Yes, I've read the book too this year. I think I read it in January, and it was a powerful book. No Excuse. Can you tell us knowledge that you gained from that book? What are the things that you were able to pick? Do you have aha moments from the book, insights from the book that you could share with us? Now let's move to the next thing. Wow, Infinix X4 said, actually I applied what I read through books like The Richest Man in Babylon. And I also applied many things from our convener, Mr. Dio. So good. That's so good. Wow. Oh, John Francis said, impact to me is having insights, mentors, passion, action, connections, and tools. Yeah, good. Now, I want to talk about how do you achieve impact, influence, and income? How do you do this? Number one, I'll say self-awareness. Self-awareness. You need to be aware of who you are. Most of us don't know who we are. You don't know who you are. You only have, if somebody is asking that, who are you? You only know your name as John. You only know your name as Bunmi, but you don't know who you are. What are the things that makes up Bunmi? What are your gifts? What are your talents? What are the things that are in you? So we need to be self-aware. We need to know who we are. You need to be aware of yourself, your talents, your gifts, your skills. So many of us don't know the skills we have and the skills we don't have that we need to sharpen. So you must start by knowing who you are, knowing what God has actually created you to do. Knowing who you are actually sent to. You are not sent to everyone in the world. It's not possible. You are sent to a particular set of people. It can be women. Even women, it can be young adults. It can be maybe teenage women. It can be, let's say, married women. It's possible you've been sent to boys just to impact them. So who are you actually sent to? You need to be self-aware about this. It's very important. Now, another thing you can actually help yourself, how you can actually help yourself to be self-aware about yourself is have a board meeting with yourself daily. It can be maybe 15 minutes every day that you've scheduled for yourself. Just to know yourself. Dedicate time daily to ask questions like, what problem do I have to solve? What problem do I need to solve? What problem am I here to solve? What legacy do I want to leave here when I die or when I'm not around? What legacy do I want to leave? It's just like this woman that died, Ibiduni. When she died, you know, she was not, I think so many people don't know her when she was alive. But it was when after her death that people started checking the internet, they had to search for who is this woman, and she left a legacy. She left a big legacy that I just felt, I don't think some people can, we still have somebody that can actually enter that big shoe that she has actually left behind, because she's really doing well with marriages. She's giving free IVFs to people who have waited for years and they couldn't conceive, but she has been doing it for maybe 5 to 7 years now. She gives free IVF and people have actually conceived through that. And even before her birthday, she already told her husband that, oh, I actually want 40 families to smile. I actually want to impact 40 families. I want them to actually carry their babies. Now that's a legacy. What kind of legacy do you want to actually leave behind? What do people want to remember you for? I'm very sure that so many people that she has imparted will never even forget her. And there's another story I read yesterday about Femi Otedola. I'm not sure, maybe it's true because I saw it on Facebook, about a radio interview he had. And They asked him about something, that what has been your happiest day? And he said it's not when he got the biggest idea. It's not when he got the biggest refinery for diesel in Nigeria, because he was the only one supplying Africa and I think Nigeria. So he now said the day he was actually, his most happiest day was when he went with a friend to donate wheelchair to children that couldn't walk. And he said after sharing it, that those children, they were happy. And when they were about to leave, there was one that held his leg and said, and he was one, he said, what do you want again? We've given you wheelchair, you are actually happy, you are walking around now. And he too was actually smiling. So he said, the little boy said, when I get to heaven, I will still thank you for what you've done. You know, that was so profound. The man said he was amazed by that statement, that this little boy was saying, you know, I'm very sure that he already felt that by the time the man grows old and is old enough, he won't be able to pay him back. But when he gets to heaven, he's going to look for him. That's a legacy. You know, he had actually impacted the life of those children. That's what he has done. And that child in particular could even remember, could even tell him to his face that, wow, you've actually done well to us. And even when I die, I will still look for you. That's actually proven. The second thing we should do is that you need to have a vision and write it out. You need to write a vision. You need to have a vision and write it out. Vision makes our life meaningful. Vision makes our life meaningful and makes us valuable contributor to the world. Vision makes our life meaningful and makes us valuable contribution to the world. You need to build your vision to add value. Your vision must be able to add value. When you're adding value, you have an increase in income. When you're adding value, you are making impact. When you're adding value, you are making influence. Now, how do you achieve that? How do you actually achieve your vision, even though you have written it down? Another thing you can do is you need to set SMART goals. SMART goals are the vehicle that will actually take you to the destination of where your vision is. You need to set SMART goals. SMART goals that will lead you to fulfilling your vision. Now, SMART goals means your goals must be specific, it must be measurable, it must be achievable, it must be realistic, and it must be time-bound. Now, if your goals are not SMART, it's possible that your goals will fail. It's possible that you won't be able to actually achieve that vision you've written down. You know, most of us wonder every year, at the beginning of each year, even before January 1st, December 31st, you start writing your goals. You start writing New Year resolution. And by January 20, the goals are nowhere to be found again. The reason being that is that the reason why it is that the goals are not smart enough. They are not smart enough to move your vision forward. They are not actually smart enough to even have an impact. So you don't just set goals. Thank you, Ogene. Don't just set goals, but set SMART goals. Like I said, the meaning of SMART is your goals must be specific, it must be measurable, it must be achievable, it must be realistic, and it must be time bound. Set daily goals. Don't set ambiguous goal. I want to be a doctor. How do you want to be a doctor? Or you're writing, I actually want to read 10 books in 2021. What are the names of the books you want to read in 2021? What do you want to actually achieve? What's your vision? Is the books going to be maybe books on personal development? Is it going to be books on time management? Is it going to be books on speaking? Is it going to be on, maybe you are actually working on your health? Is it books that will actually help you in achieving a good health or something? Now, what kind of books do you want to read in 2021? How do you want to read them? How? Is it that you are taking one chapter daily, or you are reading? Don't just write, I will read, let's say I'll read, I'm trying to think of, and okay, like the book I'm reading currently, I'm currently reading Only Why Are We Poor? And that book has 12 chapters. How do you want to read that? For instance, for me, what I do is that each day I take a chapter. So if I'm writing my goals for 2021, for January, I'm saying, okay, I'm reading 2 books. Only Why Are We Poor by Steve Harris. And the second book I'm reading is Elevator Speech. Now, the first one, I'll just say, okay, the first one I'll be reading for 2 weeks, and I'll take 1 chapter per day. Then I will evaluate my goals on Saturdays. Now, that's actually specific and it is time bound. Now, your goals must be specific and it must be time bound. It must be measurable. It must be realistic. Don't just say, okay, I'll read the book for just 1 day. And you know that you don't just have the time to yourself. Probably you are working and you do 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. at night, and you're saying you want to read the book for a whole day. It's not realistic. Let your goals be realistic. Now, if you can make impact, influence, your income will definitely shift. If you can actually do that, if you can get that from this conference. From Friday, we'll be talking about, so many people have been talking about impact, influence. So if you can actually get this, you will definitely have an increase in your income. The third thing you should do is read books. One of the things that Dr. Abib said this evening is that books is a vehicle to personal development. So books take you to places you've never been before. Probably you've not been in US. I've not been to US before, but I think I know so many places in the US just because of some books that I've read. Books expose you. When you read books and you apply the knowledge from it, it will actually help you. You don't just read books for reading's sake or for just telling people that I'm reading. Read and you apply. When you read, you apply. That's when there is results. When you are not applying, there are no results like the author of that book. Somebody has actually written down the book because he or she has the results. Now, if you want to achieve that kind of result, you must be able to apply them. Apply anything you are seeing in books. Good books. I'm not just saying any books. Books like Be All You Can Be by John C. Maxwell. When you read books like that, apply what is there. Don't just read. And there's this adage that says readers are leaders. That's very true. The readers are actually leaders. You want to be a leader, you want to make impact, you want to make influence, you must read. You must read. Everything you are looking for is in a book. Whatever you are looking for, even if it's money that you are looking for, it's in a book. Someone somewhere has gone through that phase that you are going through. Are you going through any difficulty now, maybe in your business, in your career? Someone has actually tread that path before. You can actually get a book that discusses about it. Now, thank God for the internet. You can even download books from, I think, www.pdf.com. Free books. You can learn from their journey, how they were able to achieve success, how they were able to learn from their failures. So please read books, learn to read books. These days, people are so busy that we don't read again. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for that. www.pdfdrive.net. You can get there and check any textbook that you need. The fourth one is your mindset. Your mindset. Now, for you to make impact and influence, There is a way to think. There is the way to think. If you want to make impact, if you want to make influence, there is a way you think. Think big. And again, the results in your life have a relationship with your thoughts. What are you thinking about? What are your thoughts? What are the information flowing through you? Because most times the information flowing through that flows to us, things that we read, things that we hear, have an impact on our thoughts. So what are you actually reading about? What kind of information are you accessing these days? They actually affect our thinking partner. Now, if you are not seeing the right results in your life, you need to check what is flowing in your mind and what you are feeding your mind on. What are you feeding your mind on? Are you feeding your mind on negative things? Are you feeding your mind on, I can't, it's not possible? Maybe you are feeding your mind on maybe people that have failed before and they have no results. What are you actually feeding on? There's a way to think if you want to make influence. You can actually follow people that have succeeded in their life. Read their stories. Learn from them. Hear what they have to say. That can actually help our thoughts. Now, your mind is a key to impact. Your mind is the key to impact, influence, and income. And you have the power to control it. You have the power to control your mind. You have the power to control how you think. You have the power to shift your mindset. You can actually shift your mindset by actually reading, listening to others, listening to thought leaders in your field can actually help you shift some mindsets that you should not actually have. The next one is create structure. You need to create structure. Stop wasting your time on frivolities. Stop wasting your time on frivolities. Invest your time. These days, many youth waste their time on social media. You need to start investing your time. Know how you spend your time, like the way you know how you spend your money. If you have 500 naira today, and probably you went out, you bought some things, by the time you come back, you calculate, especially ladies, you calculate, oh, I bought pure water, 10 naira. I did this, I did that. That's 400 naira. It's many hundred naira in my purse. Wow, that's balance. Now, you need to actually do that to your time every day. What do I find myself doing daily? Some of us, by the time you check that 24 hours that we have daily, everybody has 24 hours. Dangote 2 has 24 hours. You have 24 hours. What are you using your own 24 hours to do? Some of us, 15 hours out of the 24 hours is on social media. And it's not that we have businesses on social media. So invest your time wisely. There are so many things you can actually learn these days on YouTube, on Google. Invest your time in that, in learning, in acquiring knowledge. This is actually the decade of knowledge. Like one of my lead coach will say, DDK, she said, this is a decade of light. Knowledge will sell. It's only people that are sharing knowledge that will actually make impact in this our generation. It's people that are actually dishing out knowledge that can actually acquire wealth. Because if you're actually dishing out knowledge, you are imparting lives through knowledge. People will pay for it. So invest your time wisely, please. You can also make use of time blocks, time management, and scheduling. There are so many life hack apps that we have today that can actually help you in scheduling. You can make use of Google Apps. It can help you out. You can make use of Evernote, Color Notes. They can actually help you block your time. Now, even in achieving this impact, in achieving influence, it's just one step at a time. What are you doing with your time daily? Now, what you are doing with your life and your time daily will sum up to the results you are going to see in the future. So if you're not actually doing investing your time wisely. You are not doing the right thing that you're supposed to do. Please, you need to check it. You need to change what you are doing with your time. Because it's just in achieving influence, it's a step at a time. You grow into it. The next thing I would like to talk about is that how do you actually impart and influence? Next thing I'll talk about is you can volunteer. You can volunteer. So many people these days are saying, oh, I'm looking for a job. I don't have anything doing. I've been applying. Volunteer free. Just tell them that, let me just do it for free. You see that by the time you start, before you know it, probably you are doing 3 months there and all that. It's possible they start free. I've heard some stories like that. They just volunteer freely. And before you know it, they got a job in that organization. There are so many NGOs that need people. Volunteer as a graduate. If you are one and you are still looking for a job, volunteer. The next one is you can do some certification. We have some free certification today online. Coursera is doing so many. You can actually go there, get some certification, and when you have money for the paid ones, you can actually pay, because there's a limit that free things can actually do. When you're getting knowledge and you're looking for free every time, because you can't move or you can't grow. Because at a point in time, you will pay. You will need to pay. Personal development will cost you. In developing yourself, it will cost you your time, it will cost you your money. So personal development, when you are developing yourself to actually achieve all these things we are talking about, you need to sacrifice so many things. You need to sacrifice your time, your money to acquire knowledge, maybe to attend seminars. You also need to develop the ability to continuously acquire new and better forms of knowledge. Keep learning daily, learn new things daily. Another thing I'll talk about is you need mentors, you need coaches. Get a mentor. You also need a power circle. You need support systems. Who are the people you are moving with? Are they people that pull people down? Are they people that are cheerleaders that will cheer you up whenever you have an idea? Or they are the one that will say, oh, this is your idea that you are sharing. It won't fly. And some of them will go behind you and go and try what you've just shared. You need to get a power circle, people that you can encourage yourself together. You can actually share your stories together. You can actually move together. You can actually hold your hands together to achieve your goals. I think with these few points of mine, if you can actually apply all I've said, you should be able to achieve impact, influence, and have an increase in your income. Thank you.
Awesome. That is a very, very great presentation. We want to really appreciate you, Ma, for this wonderful section. We will go to the question and answer session right now. I know a lot of us, we have questions already. I can see a lot of people dropping questions, and it's time for question and answer. So if you have questions, please, you can raise up your hand. If you want to type it, please do. And as we move to the question and answer section. All right. If you want to clap for our trainer tonight, please, you can do that. Let's give an emoji clap for her for that wonderful presentation. that has really blown our mind. It's a very great one. Thank you so much. So if you have questions, please drop it quickly as we switch to the question and answer section. So we start right away by going through the question in the group chat. We have Eze Abraham said, how do someone know the right thing? Begs what was right yesterday appears wrong later. Then it will be called a mistake or disaster. So please, can you go through the group chat and answer that question? We have another question. So let's get people to talk. Gibrin, I will unmute you now so you can ask your question.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
So you are live, Gibrin. You can ask your question now.
Okay. Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation, madam. You really dwelt well on the issue of personal development, and the points raised were very enriching. But there's an area I want to ask a question. A situation whereby you are fully engaged in putting this knowledge now of personal development into use, and you have a kind of director, somebody you work for. The person doesn't seem to recognize, because putting all these things together now, as you said, it brings influence, impact, and income, and increased income. I believe this should be on a kind of individual base. Maybe you have your own business, okay, because there are some people you work for and they seem not to recognize this. Even when you apply this knowledge and you put them into use, and you have a well-developed, you develop yourself very well, and you are useful and you are impactful. But this third section of the increase in income, I don't know how to go about that area. That is the area I want to ask question about. Is there a way out? What do you think should be the right thing to do? A situation by you put these points now on personal development, you actually apply them and you become impactful, become influential. But the third one doesn't seem to be recognized. What do you think? What advice do you have for that such a person? That's the question. Hello.
Hello, sir. I think what you are trying to say is that after putting all these things in place, you've actually developed yourself and there's no result to show for it. Is that what you are saying? It's not impacting income.
Okay, yes. The income now doesn't seem to be increasing.
What did you say,
the impact and the influence. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, like as I said, the personal development points are being applied. When you have the knowledge, you apply them.
Yes, sir.
Because the impact will be there, influence will be there. Out of a situation by you are working for someone, the impact is there, you are impactful, there's influence, but the income doesn't seem to be increasing. So what can you say about that?
Okay, are you saying that you are doing well in an organization and it's not telling on your salary? Let me put it in that layman language. Is that what you are saying, sir?
You are on the point.
What is it, sir?
Point.
Now, whatever you are doing.
On point. You are right. You are correct.
Okay. Now, I want to say, whatever you are doing, there must be results for it. What result are you getting? Now, if you are getting great, so maybe you have advised them that, okay, this is our pure water nylon. Let's upgrade it. Let's start using bottle. And they use water bottle. Let me use that as an example, pure water factory. And they start using bottle to produce. And so many people are buying in that area. that your idea has actually brought out something, has brought customers, more customers to buy. Now, that's a result that they will reckon with. They will not say they will not pay for that idea. I'm sure that such organization would definitely pay you for doing that. Now, what kind of ideas are you actually giving them? Has it ever worked? That's another thing we should check. Whatever you are saying, the impact you are saying you are making in that environment, has it actually added value? Is it adding value? It's only what is adding value that will bring money. If it's not adding value, you don't expect an increase in income. It's only when you are adding value that there's an increase. Did you get, sir? Did you get that, sir?
Yes, let's move to the next question. Somebody wrote.
Yes, I'm getting you.
Okay.
Got you.
Okay, great. So
Thank
let's
you.
move to the next question. Somebody said, I used to read at least 1 or 2 books a month, but now my zeal for reading is waning. How can I refire it? Because now I can hardly finish a book in a month.
Now, one of the things you need to do to know is, why are you actually reading? Why? Your why. Your why will keep you in doing something. You need to know your why. Why do you actually want to read? Now, if you know your why will actually push you to do it. Then another thing you can actually do to refire it is that, like I used in when I was talking, the example I used, set a goal. Now, probably in you want to work on speaking, on maybe elevator speech and all that in January. Now get books towards that, or you need to work on your time and scheduling. Get a book on time and scheduling. Maybe Eat the Frog by Brand Tracy. You can get a book like that. Now you now write it down. You must write your vision down, your goals down. Now when you write it down, it's okay. Eat the Frog. I'm reading for the month of January, and I'll read 1 chapter a day. At the end of a week, if you can do that, please, you can actually motivate yourself by getting yourself something, by appreciating yourself. So I can actually do this. Now write it down. Daily, I'll be reading it, or twice a week, Monday and on Friday. I'll make sure I read a chapter each. That will actually help you in doing that. So by the end of January, you see that in a month, you've read 2 books as well. That's what I do, and it worked. And it's still working. So try and schedule it. Most times we don't schedule something. You say it's not working. Have you actually scheduled it in your diary? Have you put it down that, okay, this is what I'll be doing by 2 p.m. today. I'll be reading so thing. I'll be doing so thing. If you are scheduling, you will definitely do it.
Okay, let's have Mr. Ige for his question. You can unmute yourself now.
Good evening, sir. And I really appreciate Madam for our well presentation. So my question is, like someone who is working in an organization, and the organization is so
I can't hear you well, sir.
Time, like, what I'm saying is that, like someone who is engaged in an organization, sorry, like someone who is working in an organization and is engaged due to his time, and such person has some idea that he has put a kind of goal, he has put everything, and based on his time demanding, how could he, and he can't even leave the job because already that's the only source of livelihood and where he's trying to source money for his goals, then how could he manage to start his goals based on the time that the first job is taking?
I didn't get your question clearly. I don't know, maybe Mr. Dayo heard him.
Okay, maybe you type the question. I think your network is not clear enough. You can type the question and drop it while we unmute Infinix S4. You can unmute yourself now. Infinix S4. Can you unmute yourself now? Infinix S4, are you there? Please unmute yourself. Okay, let's look at other people on the group chat. Okay, somebody is, can you read Mr. Success? I wrote my first book with my phone. Use my laptop for self-editing. Just hold on, I'm reading. I think the question is a lot. Okay. But the laptop had some issues that require a major financial attention. I can't do anything with it, though I occasionally use my office laptop when I can. But how can I go about it? It is obvious I need another system, but I can't afford any for now since I'm trying to grow my business. I need your input and practical strategies I can take because I want to finish the self-editing and publish it since I'm having some other new thoughts. So the person wants to get another system for his writing career. He has something he's writing already, but he needs to grow my business to raise more fund. What am I missing out? So,
Well,
okay, go ahead.
what I would suggest is that, one of the last thing I think I mentioned in achieving influence and impact is power circle. Who are the people that are your support system? Who are the people in your circle? Do you have people, friends that you can actually call on and say, please, can I use your laptop for so weeks, so days, since you can't afford it for now? Or people that can actually even help out in the repairs free of charge. So that's why I said we need power circles. Who are your support systems? If you can actually get support, you have support system, they can actually help out, because this issue now is a laptop issue. Do you have friends that can actually release their laptop for maybe days or some weeks to you? Or you have a family member that has a laptop that you can actually make use of and you return back? Did you get that, please? So you actually need a support system, please. And congratulations on your new book. That's so good. Wow, well done.
Okay, let's hear from winner Barnabas. You're already live. You can ask your question.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma.
And good evening, ma. I'm so glad I'm joining from Maiduguri. Actually, I really appreciate this conference. It has really boosted my morale and some other things that I've been doing business-wise. And actually, I want to ask question. Like, for instance, the place we are now here in Maiduguri, actually, I was doing well in my business. And because of this crisis, violence here and there, I lost a lot of things, of which it cost me. My shop has been sold out and a lot of things. And yes, I have goals that are realistic, that are measurable. But my problem here is how to raise funds. Because sometimes when I want to do any business, I have to go and borrow from friends and family. And what I really want is, how do I access this grant of a thing that will help me boost my business? And sometimes I do, train some of our youth in the area of businesses. Like now, during Corona period, that there's no school. Some of them, they are just staying idle. And theoretically, I was teaching them how to start off something. And most of them, they have started some things like what we have in our environment, like foodstuffs. Like I taught them how to do Tom Brown, because so many people want Tom Brown for their children, not only for children, for adults. And the problem they are facing now is phones. How to please, can you help me, enlighten me, how do I get access to all those grants that will help boost our businesses here? Thank you. Can you hear me?
Okay, just give us some minutes. She will respond now. Okay, she has been unmuted. So you can respond to that question, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining from Madiguri. Now, I think you were asking about assessing how you can assess grants or loans. Did I get that? Is that what she was asking
Yes,
about?
ma'am. Yes,
Now,
yes, ma'am. You're right.
you can actually wait. I would love if you could wait for the next section. Will you be available for the next section? The next person that is coming in. The person will be talking
Maybe I
about.
wait.
What did you say?
Yes, I may waste more because I have some other meetings today. So
Okay, because the person is going to talk about how you can actually access grants. Now, I've
okay.
actually accessed grants before. I've been a beneficiary of UWIN. I've accessed Kickstart. I've actually qualified for Kickstart organization too before, but I didn't access, I was not given the grants, but I was able to apply for it, and I was trained. Now, this person that is coming in is going to talk more about how you can access grants. In January too, Tony Elumelu to give grants. Tony Elumelu will be giving grants to so many businesses. So you can actually follow Tony Elumelu on Facebook, on Instagram. Then and again, another thing you can do is follow Kickstart on Instagram. IBPLC, they will soon start another level of grants. They want to start giving out grants too. So they are starting the next boot camp. You can actually follow them on Instagram, and please wait for the next person and hear him out. I will type organization out that you can follow on Instagram.
Yes, I will be grateful.
So
all right,
follow
I'll
them
be grateful.
and read more about them.
Okay, ma. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma. Yeah.
So do any other person have, okay, we still have Victory. Victory will be the last person for question today. We still have Austin. So let's take the two of you quickly. Victory, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Hello, Victory, you can unmute yourself for your question. Okay, if Victory is not responding, let's have Austin. Austin, you can unmute yourself for your question.
Good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon, sir.
Can you hear me, ma?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm connecting from Osun State, Ilefe. Talk about reading of books. I'm the kind of someone that anytime I'm reading books, I always or feel tired. I don't know, maybe I should call it laziness, because before I finish reading chapter or two, I'm already tired and weak. So my question now is, what is action? What can I do, ma?
Number one, what kind of books are you reading?
I'm reading books about business growth.
As can you mention one of the books you've read?
that I've read.
Yes, can you mention books that you've read that you felt it was boring? That's why I told one of the people that asked question about reading. You need to know why you are reading. Now, why are you reading? Why do you want to read? Do you actually want to learn? Are you hungry to learn? If you're hungry to learn, you cannot sleep. I don't sleep when I'm reading, except I'm tired. Now, what time do you read? Do you read at night when you've done all the work and you are tired for the day? You pick up a book by 9 p.m. It's not possible to read at that time when you are tired. So can you look at time? Now, another thing you must look at is your energy flows. Have you ever read book in the morning before 6 a.m.? Please, can you respond to that?
No.
No.
No, ma'am.
Now you can actually put that in your
I read
morning.
around the evening time.
You can actually put that in your morning routine. Check videos on morning routine on YouTube, and it will actually help you. Now, when you wake up in the morning, after you've prayed and all that, pick up that book and read a chapter. Pick up that book that you felt you want to read at that particular time, maybe to develop yourself or something. Read just one chapter. I can recommend books that you can read and you won't leave. You want to know the end of what the writer is actually talking about. When you read books, John Maxwell books, Joyce Meyer books, Cindy Trim books, you can't be bored. You can't be sleeping when you are reading it. There's a wake-up call in your mind when you read books like that. When you read Brian Tracy books, to wake you up, even if you want to sleep. Even Dr. Abib book doesn't make people sleep. The person that just slept. So when are you actually reading that book? And what's the environment like? So please, you need to check that. What time do you read and the environment?
Okay, let's give a round of applause for Mrs. Bunmi Adetiloye for that awesome section. Let's give a great emoji clap for her. She has really helped us just justice to that. Let's give a round of applause, and describe that section in one word. Describe that section in one word. Olufisayomi said, "Thank you very much, ma." Describe that section in one word. Quickly. Joanne said, "Thank you." Austin said it was awesome and powerful. Okay, we now say, please, can I have your phone number, ma? Okay, great. So we, somebody say mind blowing, engaging. Thank you for those sections.